Welcome to Next to Madison, a podcast to help you live your best life. Welcome back to another episode of Next to Madison. I'm your host, Madison Malloy, and on today's episode, we are talking about peptides. It is all the rage. Everybody's talking about them, but they're also highly confusing. What do you take? What do you do? Which ones are hype? Which ones are bullshit? Which ones are good? Which ones are actually going to make you look younger? I am breaking down all the facts and all the bullshit with the amazing Dr. Todd. So we'll be right back after this brief message with our guest on Next to Madison. Hi, it's your host, Madison Malloy. For those of you who don't know, I've written and created a powerful collection of books to help you build confidence, shift your mindset, and attract the life you truly want. From Time to Lighten the F Up, to Affirm and Flourish, Color Your Way to Abundance, and more. These aren't just books, they're tools for transformation. Grab a copy now on Amazon or at madisonmalloy.com. Now back to the show. All right, we are back on this very exciting episode of Next to Madison where we are talking all about peptides. Yes, they are peppered everywhere, and so I have brought in the expert, Dr. Todd, to talk just all about this and what you should be applying, taking versus injecting. So Dr. Todd, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. Excited to talk about peptides today.
No, I'm excited because you have a huge social media following. Like massive social media. And I feel like every time I look at your damn social media, you have like 10,000 more followers. I mean, you are really doing a good job, but you really educate people. And I think the reason you're so successful online is because you do your research and you know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, to me, what my social media has always been, and I've always been from the beginning, is, facts, science, proof over hype.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm going to tell you, this is good for you, but the negative side is this, the downside is this, the price is this. You need to compose all these things, not like, what's going to fix this,
Okay, so let's talk about the one thing that everyone wants is to look younger. They want to feel good, but I think women especially, because we're in such an ageist society, we want to look younger. When it comes to peptides,
right?
What would you recommend? And should you do it orally, topically, or inject?
Well, in general, I think people can benefit from peptides, but I think you got to look at it also more specifically. If you look into peptides, there's so many of them, and it's overwhelming.
Right. So what makes me look? What's going to make my skin look younger?
Right. So I'm saying, perfect. You picked out a specific goal, and we want to focus on that goal. So how can I achieve that goal? I want better youthful skin, shinier skin, thicker collagen, more collagen, more elasticity.
Yes.
So there's different ways of doing that. So some of the peptides we can use are topical. There's many topical creams, ointments, and other things you can be applied with or without treatments that can certainly help penetrate and get benefits. GHKCU, the copper peptide, the beauty peptide.
That's been all the rage lately.
Yeah, definitely. So there are some good products that have it topically. The limitation of the topically is question how much gets absorbed.
Yeah.
And does it get absorbed to the dermis level where we really want to see collagen growth and elastin growth? So there's different products that are coming out now to help it penetrate deeper, not just get absorbed.
Okay.
Otherwise, it can just be a very expensive product with a lot of promise and under-deliver.
Yeah.
But I think it's very promising. I think there's some good products out there. I just tried some new products that I got sent from 3 different Korean companies that have a new technology with spicules. Okay. Now, what the hell is a spicule? A spicule is something in the topical cream, and you apply it gently and massage it in. It's microscopic spicules that actually penetrate your epidermis into the dermis microscopically.
Wow.
It feels a little tingly when you're putting it on. It feels a little different. You're like, ooh, something's working. Something's going on here.
Yeah.
Right? So, and then you let that sit in and get absorbed, and it's supposed to help the GHKCU peptide and other peptides penetrate to get past the epidermis into the dermis to where it really has to go.
So this company, are you allowed to say the name of the company?
Well, yeah, I've tried a few different ones from the Korean companies that have reached out to me. I recently tried Idenel. They have a
Is that with an I?
Idenel.
Okay.
They sent me products to try out and test and talk about. And I did a post about it fairly recently. I thought my skin was really glowing pretty soon afterwards. I think it actually worked that quick. I'm not a big cream or topical person myself. I generally
Yeah.
have pretty good skin. But I definitely felt it when you were doing it, and I felt like the next day it really worked. Their product is sensitive, and they only want it used not for at-home use,
Yeah.
but in the med spa. So an esthetician went to my friend's esthetician office, then we applied it, and I really saw the difference.
Wait, so you have to apply it at
So
a
they
doctor's
cleanse your
office?
face. Yeah, they did it at a medical
Oh, so
esthetician or
this
doctor.
isn't a nightly thing.
Right. I think they're just cautioned because of the spicules. They can be a little sensitive, and she gently massaged it in. I can feel that tingling. That
Yeah.
you get it at home, a little bit is good, but you can do a lot more, right? So you just don't
Yeah.
overdo it.
Okay. And so what about, though, injecting it? Because I've seen a lot pop up because I saw something, and then obviously I looked, and the algorithm is now pounding me with stuff about the injectable
GHKCU, right.
to inject it. So it's like how, and then they're just selling this shit on the internet. So it's,
Right. So unfortunately, peptides are very unregulated right now. They're not really a pharmaceutical, even though they probably could be, and some of them
Okay.
are. It's not really a nutraceutical. So it's typically a doctor can write a prescription. It goes to a compound pharmacy. A compound
Yeah.
pharmacy is a pharmacy that's registered, licensed to make either topicals, like creams, pills, lotions, or injectables. And then there's very specific licensing for that. So they can take the ingredients and make it. So
Okay.
like when the GLP-1s were in shortage, compound pharmacies were making a ton of GLP-1s because
Yeah.
patients couldn't get them.
Okay.
So they can get around that if they customize any injectable and they can make it for you.
Interesting.
So, but some of them are research laboratories. In a research laboratory, some influencer says, I look this great because of peptides, which I'm sure that's not the only thing they did to look fabulous.
Yeah.
And they sell you peptides directly
Right.
without any healthcare provider or guidance.
So
And that's a huge part of the market and some of area of concern for many people in healthcare. Like
Yeah.
peptides has a very promising future, but we don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot by over-promising, under-deliver, and 90 to 95% of these research laboratories are very questionable. What do I say questionable? Well, if they don't have purity testing, if they don't have quality testing to say if this has 10 milligrams, does it actually have 10 milligrams?
yeah.
Is
right.
it sterility tested? Is a third party coming in and testing it to make sure all these things are true?
Right.
Which also adds up the price. But when we're in price wars with 1,000 other research laboratories,
Yeah.
price is the people a big motivator.
So have you injected GHK?
Yeah, I just started using it myself.
Like injecting it.
Yeah.
Like do you inject it in your tummy?
Yeah, anywhere. It's a subcutaneous injection.
So you can put it like, you don't put it in your face.
You don't have to put it directly. It gets systemically absorbed like other peptides.
So your stomach's probably the best.
Yeah, it's easier, looser skin, a little
Yeah.
more sensitive. And
How
it's easier
often do
to
you have to inject it?
Well, most peptides they're different ones. So some of them are once a week, some of them are every night or every day, but most of them are kind of weekly, and so you don't have to do it that often.
So
But also, if someone's taking what you call a peptide stack, a series of peptides that go together,
yeah,
it could be multiple different injections every day.
that is like
So if people don't
crazy.
are afraid of a pharmaceutical drug that's been tested for the last 10 years, but they'll take it from Joe's basement pharmacy who's making this product, and it says on the bottle, not for human use, because the research laboratories have to say that on there.
Really?
So these research laboratories are one of the main producers in the United States of peptides.
Yeah.
But because of that, it has to say not for human use, for research purposes only.
That's crazy.
They get around the compounding laws that way because you don't need a healthcare provider to then send in a prescription.
So when somebody sees on their Instagram or their TikTok an advertisement where you can buy an injectable
Right. That's it.
GHKCU copper, whatever is the new rage.
Right. That's most likely a research facility.
So safe or not safe?
I would say 95% of them I wouldn't really trust. I did a lot of research. on this.
95%? Okay, that's not safe.
Yeah.
So
You know what I'm saying? But there are a few legitimate ones. I really do high quality stuff that have quality testing, quality assurance, sterility testing, batch numbers, lot numbers,
Okay.
and third party testing. But those are obviously going to cost more because they're doing all these things.
So how often are you injecting this particular peptide into your abdomen?
Just once a week.
And do you feel like it's made an actual difference?
Yeah, I do see differences in my skin. I'm not really a big topical cream person on a regular basis like most guys.
Yeah.
I'm lucky in the summer I have sunscreen on.
Yeah.
And I wash my face. But besides that,
Okay.
yeah, I certainly feel a difference and see a difference. Yeah, I can say that.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
so you could tell me
And
where to get the right one.
Most of these things, you remember, especially with things with skin, it takes time, right? The cells turn over rapidly. But anytime you're talking about building collagen or building elastin,
Yeah.
we're talking 6 to 3 month time frame, right? And then to enough of that production for you to see a difference takes a while.
So let's go back to the first one that built really kind of was the game changer for skin, which was the retinol, the pharmaceutical retinol, not the shit you get at Sephora.
Right.
Like, is that still good to use?
Yeah, that's still gold standard. One of the
Yeah.
best things you can do.
But is that gonna feel like? Because I feel like your skin thins out. Like I feel like I'm more veiny these days. Like and it's just like, it drives me crazy.
Sometimes you look more veiny is because a multitude of factors. Skin gets thinner. So
Yeah.
it doesn't have that covering that it used to have. So if you build up more collagen.
So how do I do that?
Retinol is a great way to do that.
I do that.
Yeah.
It's not building fast enough.
And there's a lot of things you can do for that. Some people take collagen peptides. The literature is kind of mixed with that. If you feel it helps, okay, but I wouldn't run out of my way to go purchase some. Just another thing you're purchasing that's questionable on how much benefit you really get from it.
Okay, let's talk about another popular peptide.
Yeah.
BP157.
Right.
What the heck is this and what does it do and why is it so popular?
So BPC 157
Yes, that's it.
is an extremely popular peptide with multiple different uses. Body protective compound 157.
Okay.
So it helps recovery and restore. So it's been looked at wound healing, that it could accelerate the process and speed up any healing of any wound or injury. It's been studied in orthopedic studies on tendon and ligament repair, which typically don't have good blood supplies and don't heal well, that they're using it post-surgically to help expedite and improve recovery for better results and shorter recovery.
Okay.
So we do have some literature out there showing this. BBC 157 comes from gastric juices, so it's also been used and studied in healing up your GI tract, and that's what was its first use. So people have got a lot of different uses for it because they call it the healing peptide. So we do have good, there is some literature, there is some research, and it is in humans. Because a lot of these peptides are more theoretical, I would say. Why do I say that? That's because they have what we call preclinical studies.
Okay.
Which sounds very scientific.
Yeah.
Sounds very legitimate.
Yeah.
And you hear this all the time, and people are like, do you know what preclinical studies means? No. Preclinical studies means it was laboratory studies or animal studies or both.
Okay.
It doesn't mean it was tested in humans at all. So a lot of these things have preclinical studies, but they don't have any human studies. So I like to focus on the ones that at least have some human trials, which a lot of them do.
Okay.
Okay, because there's several peptides that also have had previous FDA approvals for different indications. So that means they went under the rigors of going through phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 trials in order to get FDA approval, which is anyone knows is very difficult to do.
Yeah.
Highly scrutinized, and you have to do the studies, which cost millions and millions and years to do. So there are several that have that. So those peptides, I feel, at least have well-backed research for it, studied in humans. They're looked at for side effects, not just the benefits.
Right.
And they've been monitored for years. So I think those peptides can definitely have a use in a medically supervised setting and have great benefits.
So I feel like the BPC 157 is a peptide that is most commonly injected.
I think it's one of those because post-procedure, post-surgery, a lot of plastic surgeons use it, orthopedic surgeons use it. Anything they can do to help speed up recovery.
Take it?
I haven't taken it, no.
Okay.
But if I had something done or had an injury, I would definitely consider that.
Okay, interesting. I know there's just so many different
So a lot of
peptides.
those, like BPC 157, can come with KPV or TB 500, and they call that the glow stack or the recovery stack.
Yeah, what's the glow stack? Is that for your skin?
Yeah, but they put all three together because it's going to help immune function, mitochondrial function, and skin, collagen, and elasticity. So the combination together is what they call a stack. Now, a stack just means a series of peptides that are usually grouped together for their synergistic benefit, meaning they all help each
Right.
other out on their own, but when they work together synergistically,
Yeah.
they even work better.
So this is something you inject once a day, once a week?
They could be just once a day for some of these things, but it may be 3 separate ones unless they're blended together.
God, it's a lot of freaking needles.
Yeah, I know. People are.
It's getting a little
I
crazy.
remember when people used to be afraid to get Botox. Now they're doing it at home Botox, but now people have no problem doing this.
Okay, so let's talk about another thing. It's not an injectable. You're seeing it as like a in a little packet or
Right.
a tongue strip. Glutathione.
Right.
There's a lot of talk about glutathione. Would that be considered a peptide?
Glutathione has a lot of benefits, and that's why it's always been looked at. For years, people took NAC. NAC was a precursor.
I love NAC. I take NAC all the time.
So have I, for a very long time, because
Yeah.
it's a precursor, and if it helps your body make a little bit more glutathione, which is a super potent antioxidant with a lot of different benefits, it's certainly beneficial.
Okay.
Now, orally, doesn't get absorbed well.
The
So if
NAC or the glutathione?
Glutathione, I'm sorry, glutathione.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of these things aren't taken orally because they get broken down. They're not
So you're
meant to be
kinda
taken
wasting your
orally,
money.
so it's broken down. Some of them are in liposomal forms, meaning they're in a lipid capsule to kind of bypass the gut digestion, but it's still getting broken down. And I haven't seen great studies showing any oral supplement, even with liposomal forms, that was really great absorption rate and great
Really?
efficacy. Sounds a lot easier, would be a lot easier, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way. So I think the precursor is a very safe and
So
effective
NAC
way.
is the best way to get this. Don't
Right.
waste your money on the glutathiones right now.
The other way to get it would have to be intravenous through an IV, which they do an IV push, which is very popular. Some people just do that once a month. You can get injections of glutathione, but you have to inject it that way regularly. For long term, it just seems like a lot of work. If you
And a lot of money.
Yeah. Glutathione sometimes is combined with vitamin C,
Yeah.
as it's believed to be a skin brightening agent.
Yeah.
Glutathione supplements are very big in Southeast Asia where they want to look pale and they don't want hyperpigmentation.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's been around for a long time. How much benefit or how much it works is really the question. But certainly it seems to be safe. It seems to have some benefit. The question is how much you want to invest in it. I would say for most people, if you're interested in it, start off with the NAC. It's a safe supplement and vitamin. It's been around for a while.
Okay, that's good to know because I have that. I always found that if I was consistent with it,
Yeah.
it was like I felt like I was wearing an armor on my immune system.
Right.
Like
'Cause-
nothing could get me sick. And it was first sold to me. I was getting a skin treatment in Denver, and this woman was like, "Oh, free radical damage. You should take this NAC, especially with you traveling as much as you do, because when you're in the stratosphere on the plane,
Right.
your free radical damage doubles. So you actually get older when you fly." So she's like, "You should take this, and before flights, like 2 or 3 days before flights, you should double up on this shit. So if you take one in the morning, one
Sure.
at night, you 2 and 2." So I wouldn't, but of course, when I drop off the good old gate, I get sick, Like, gotta get that back in.
Well, also the closed air system and your recircled
Yeah.
air and a lot of people on there. Yeah, you're exposed to a lot more than you normally would be.
Well, I'm just saying in general. I mean,
Yeah.
we're in New York City, where there's germs galore, and
Yeah.
it can help your immune system, but you're also exposed to a lot more surfaces. It's a lot more surface touching.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
But I always felt like the NAC was like a good kind of barrier.
Yeah, I think it's a good supplement to take, just like nicotinamide or NMN.
So that I've seen in a powder, and I actually bought.
Right.
Is it NMN or MN? MN.
NMN.
Okay.
Right.
So they were like, just put it under your tongue, like the scoop, and then just let it.
Yeah, you can take it in a pill. You can take it in a powder. It's been around for a long time.
Can you mix it in your water? Or you got to just put it under your tongue because it doesn't taste very good.
I would mix it with something. You know,
Yeah.
I don't like putting just powder in there because does it all get absorbed? You have to wash it out.
There's just so much shit to take.
Right. But I'm thinking those are ones which leads us into it's not a peptide, but it's often thought of as a peptide, is NAD. So
Yes.
NMN is the precursor, which has been around for a while.
Okay.
It's supposed to help your body make more of its own NAD. NAD is the hot topic after the Kardashians are at home saying this is the fountain of youth. I'm going to take this till I die.
Yes.
And now every med spa in the country has NAD drips. Right? So NAD is a molecule involved with your mitochondria and helping convert energy into ATP, which is the energy of every cell of your body. Sounds fantastic, right? We need that. Our NAD levels, unfortunately, like everything else, to
plummet, to
diminish over time. Even by 40, you have significant level decrease. So it could help with immunity. It could help with energy. So it has a lot of potential benefits. But oral precursors have been shown to increase your NAD levels. Not dramatically, but it does help them. But it's a safe and effective way of doing it.
So how do you know if you're not somebody who can necessarily afford or wants to go get the IV NADs, how do you know the NAD that you're purchasing is legit and effective?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. So when it comes to the injectable NADs, subcutaneous, some people take it at home, or intravenous. Now, very popular, but I'm going to give an unpopular opinion. Okay, so I think it might help increase your levels very mildly, but it's super expensive.
The injecting or the social?
The
intravenous.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because unfortunately, NAD is normally made in the cell, broken down in the cell, and then recycled in the cell. So if your levels are low, it sounds simple. Let me just replace it, right?
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. Unfortunately, NAD is not normally in your blood. So when you give intravenously, what is it doing? The body doesn't know what it is. So it can be irritating and it could cause some inflammation. Now, the other problem, how does it get from your blood into my cell where it has to work into the cell?
Right.
Well, most of your cells, it's hard to get into because the molecule NAD is such a big molecule, it just doesn't go into the cell. It needs a receptor to bring it into the cell. And there's only a few places with the receptor to take it from the blood into the cell, mostly in your brain and your heart. So that means the rest of your body probably isn't getting much of any NAD.
How the hell do you get it to your brain and your heart?
If you're taking a large amount intravenously, so I think intravenous is extremely popular. People say they feel it right away. That could just be the effect of...
I've heard people feel like absolute shit.
Well, that's the other problem.
When they do it.
Because you can get nauseous, you can get queasy, you can get lightheaded. It's probably done too quickly. But also, it could just be causing inflammation in your body, and could be your body's response. So I've done it that way before. I'm not sure really how much benefit you get. You probably get a small increase on it, but also it's an extremely expensive way of doing it.
Right.
And if you're going to do it for the long term, I think that we have better options out there.
Like what?
Well, like the precursors,
So you think taking like an NMN powder
Yeah.
or pill is more effective than trying to swallow an NAD tablet?
Right, because I don't think it's going to get broken down. I don't think you're going to
So
get
it's kind of like, okay, so the
they
NAC
say
with
they have the nasal spray, the drops, but it's still going to get broken down.
Okay, so
and then we still have the same problem. How is the NAD getting from your blood into your cell?
No,
right?
I'm glad
So when we give it the precursors, the factory in your cell gets more building blocks, and it can build more NAD.
So no, this is great.
Now there's new supplements also looking at the problem with the NAD is not that we're just have less of it. It's that the recycling part in your cell isn't recycling like it used to. So there's a problem on the factory floor. So even if we keep building blocks, at a certain point, it's not just going to build more because the factory's not effective.
Yeah.
So there are newer supplements and newer things being looked at that what would help the cell recycle its own NAD better. So there's something like New Cheeto Time, which is a company based out of England that's looking at this new supplement and a new pathway to see if it helps the recycling of it better. So I think we have yet to see the optimal NAD recovery improvement level yet. But I think for now, safe and effective, also cost effective. I can buy $30 and I have a month worth of NAD. I go in for a drip, it could be $600, and I don't even know how much is getting in there.
Yeah.
It can make you feel sick. It can cause inflammation. And also, you got to make sure that your provider is getting from the best source possible, because it's going to come from a compounding facility, which you got to make sure it's a top-of-the-line facility.
It's just like so. Okay, so basically,
So it seems like a lot more, right? But I'm saying for right now, if you're not sure, you want to increase your NAD, you don't
take MNN.
Yeah, take a precursor. We know that works.
Okay.
Yes, it has a ceiling because I'm only building. Even though I bring more product to the factory, it doesn't mean my factory is necessarily making more.
Yeah,
right?
I see what you're saying.
If I bring more car parts, doesn't mean the factory's making more cars. I'm just stockpiling precursor at some point.
Gotcha.
The factory has its limits of how much you can make in a day.
Okay.
So that's an effective way. We know it's a safe way.
Yeah.
We know it's a well-tolerated way.
Wow.
And thankfully, it's an affordable way.
It's just like the whole, like, I feel like the supplements were a thing, and then the skincare thing was a thing, and now these peptides are a thing. And
Right.
it's just like, it's so overwhelming, and I feel like it's kind of the Wild West.
Well, I
for the
think
peptide
also we
industry right now.
were talking about this before we went on. Is people are afraid of big pharma. They don't realize that big wellness is multiple times larger than big pharmaceutical.
But as dangerous?
Maybe more. Why?
Yeah.
There's almost no regulation on vitamins and supplements. Look at all the claims they make without research studies.
My parents
right.
take.
So the only rule with supplements is they can't say they diagnose, treat, prevent, or cure a disease. So we're not treating obesity. We're helping you lose weight.
So
Right? We're not curing diabetes. We're helping with your blood sugar.
Wait, but listen.
That's why they use very creative wording of it. Even though they have little to no proof at all, they don't have the burden of proof. They're not required to.
So that's why people have the most expensive piss on the block, the people that take a lot of vitamins.
Yeah.
Because most of it just goes out of your...
A lot of it, depending on the type of it. And also, there's been a lot of research studies now that looked at things purchased on Amazon, for example.
Or TikTok shop?
Yeah. So they looked at, there was a study on creatine monohydrate, very popular supplement.
Yeah, I
Creatine
started taking it.
It's probably one of the oldest, one of the well-studied ones. But they found 30% of the creatine in gummies had 0% creatine in it.
Oh, shit.
Right? It's like because is there quality control? Is there anyone checking on these things? There's about a third that had a half of it.
I take Thorne.
And Thorne, I think, is one of the best ones.
Okay, good. Go on.
They're a very good company, and they validate with their stuff, and they have good quality.
Okay.
But I'm saying you really got to do your homework now with supplements too, because who knows? You're buying something, and also when you buy on Amazon, you're not necessarily buying from the company.
Exactly.
You can be buying, and it's very easy to make a knockoff of a vitamin.
Well, that's what they were saying with the NAD, because then you would see these TikTok shop people, and they'd be like, "This is the fake one. This is the real one." And then they had the NAD
And they look exactly
liquid
the
thing.
same, right?
Yes.
You can't even tell. So for the consumer, it seems simple, but it's very confusing. And also to do it effectively. Now they have apps that help you look at your supplement to see if it's a good supplement. But then you're depending on the app for that instead of your own basic knowledge. But I think if it has very few ingredients, it's all natural, it's all organic, and it's from a reputable company. And certain of those, like the gummies, I would just stay away from. Why do you need a gummy? You can just take a powder or a pill for it. It seems like a lot of these gummies just don't seem to have what they're supposed to say.
Well, they taste good, and I eat too many of them.
Yeah, well, that's why you keep coming back. But even with vitamins and supplements, I think it's an area that's been unregulated for ever.
Yeah.
And there's no quality assessment, quality control, or reassurance or monitoring really. As long as they say they don't diagnose or treat a disease, they can pretty much say what they want. At some point, when people are having problems from it, because remember, you can have vitamin toxicity from different vitamins.
Yeah, of course.
You can also have, misleading advertising. If someone has 0% of the active ingredient, I don't know. If I bought a food and it had 0% of the active ingredient, I would be kind of upset with it.
Yeah.
But spending hundreds of dollars on supplements and didn't have anything, I'd be a little upset too.
Well, it's just so overwhelming. So if you were to give advice to myself and like the listeners, NAC, NMN,
yeah.
But as far as like the injectable peptides, would it be this glow stack or would it be the GKS?
Well, I think like we started off right in the beginning, right? Start off with a specific goal. Otherwise,
to look younger.
No, but I'm saying because like you have the peptides that boost your growth hormone, the ones that help maintain muscle, the ones that help you lose fat, the ones that help you lose weight, the ones that help you have more energy, ones that build your immune system, right? Ones that help your skin. So
God. So overwhelming.
you walk into the store, it's like, I want all that, right? But in reality, be focused, right? And be realistic, you know? 'Cause
Okay.
otherwise, that's going to be a lot of injections and really expensive. And also, I feel like if you do all this at one time, how do you know what's helping you and not?
I
Right?
agree.
Right? Just like some people respond to a vitamin much better than the others.
So what do I take? What do I get tomorrow?
Well, like I said, GHKCU, if the skin is definitely a concern and you want to
Yeah.
preserve it, you want to increase the collagen, you want a nice glow to it, I think that's safe and it's effective. Traveling a lot, you want to boost your immune system, so coupling that with something like TB500, which is helps boost your immune system. I think they're often work together. And then you can add a BPC 157, and that's a very common, what we call stack or a group of products that work synergistically well together.
And where is the place to get the legit ones?
Well, I'd be cautious with buying through an influencer. I'd be go through a healthcare provider, but that also can add cost to it, right? So, like I have on my account, I have a setup with a company where they'll give you educational and information and a free consult on the phone just by hooking up the link in my bio.
Okay.
And I make that arrangement for them. So if someone doesn't want to go to a healthcare provider or doesn't have access to a healthcare provider that does this, because sometimes it's not easy doing that.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be quite expensive too. They're experts and it's out of pocket, so you're going to be paying for it. So if someone kind of knows what they want, but if they don't, they can call, they can get a consult, and they'll give you instructions and information about what these products do.
And they're legit. That's like
Yeah,
a legit source.
and
And so it's in your bio of your social media?
Right.
So tell people what your social media is. Just
Dr. Todd, New York City.
perfect. Okay. So yeah, definitely check out Dr. Todd, New York City.
So I made this arrangement with them so that you can get a free phone call and just like,
Yeah,
maybe
I
it's
love
not for you, but you
that.
just like to ask questions, right? No obligation, just get the free consult. And you can ask any questions you want. So I'd say be prepared for it. Think about what you want to
Yeah.
ask about
that.
so you can make
Okay.
the most out of your free educational and informational phone call.
And now,
And then I like it because they also have a website full of information on each one,
okay.
explain each one. And if you do want help, you can pay for additional consultation, you can pay for blood tests, you can do all these other things
Yeah.
on there. So I like the format of the way it's set up and the arrangement we made
Yeah.
with them. And then I post all the time about each peptide one by one because each one is a lot to know and which one has legitimate studies and which one doesn't.
Okay, so let's
Like
talk
if you
about...
go to an influencer site, they're just going to tell you the benefits, but like anything I
not-
do on my
yeah.
page, I tell you Botox, I'll tell you the downsides.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about fillers, but I'll tell you the downsides. I'll tell you about each laser, but I'll tell you the benefits, and I'll also tell you downsides.
Which is smart.
Right, because you're not getting one without the other, right? So if someone doesn't tell you about it, doesn't mean it's not there.
Okay, so what's the cost for these peptides on average?
You know, it can vary. Most of these ones we're talking about are injectables. You
I
know,
want GKU silver. How much is that one?
I don't know the
Copper,
prices off the top
copper.
of my head, but it could be anywhere from $100 to $200 a month. Okay, depending on the peptide. But some of them you're buying are going to last you a lot longer than that.
Okay.
Another big popular group of peptides that I think I was going to bring up next is because one, they have FDA studies, and two, seems like everyone wants the benefit of it because it has a multitude of benefits. Is the growth hormone serotonologues. So what does that mean?
What's it called?
Serotonologue. So it's a growth hormone stimulating hormone. So you take it and it tells your body, put out more growth hormone. By the age of 40, we're already down 30, 40%. And growth hormone helps with muscle recovery, muscle retention, fat burning, thickness of your skin. So it has multiple benefits. They've actually been studied because they were originally used, tesmorelin, tesmorelin, also had FDA approvals previously.
Yeah.
Why are they not being FDA prescribed? Well, because the companies that made the product and did the research on the product weren't making money, so a lot of them stopped making it. Why? I'm not making money.
Right.
And they were originally used in kids of short stature who had low growth hormone, and instead of taking growth hormone, they gave them alternatives. Now, these are milder increases because it's stimulating your body to make more of its own. But a lot of people love these because it's anti-aging,
yeah.
muscle preservation, will help your skin, and it has mutual benefits. So Kids generally take human growth hormone directly because they're only on it for a short period of time.
Okay.
The other ones you could take longer because you're not going to get the side effects of human growth hormone by itself, which we saw back in the 2000s, which is you can get bony overgrowth, affected blood sugars, increase of IGF levels, and other problems.
Okay.
So this way, it stimulates it more naturally, and you don't get those type of side effects.
Wow.
The one thing I would warn about is if you've had cancer or you have cancer, any things, especially these, could potentially increase cancer or make it grow quicker.
What if you don't know if you have cancer?
Well, then sometimes you get screening tests for that, or if you're high risk for something, you want to
Yeah.
get testing for it.
Yeah.
But even that being said, that's more theoretical because when they did studies on these things, it didn't actually turn out that way. But I always like to warn people of that just because we haven't seen it yet doesn't mean it's there. And if
Yeah.
it's stimulating growth, let's use, let's use medical common sense here and be cautious.
Well, they do say that one of the natural ways to increase your human growth hormone is fasting for 72 hours to go into the
Right.
autophagy stage or whatever.
Right.
Most people can't do that because by the time you get those hunger pains, it's like, whoa. But they say also, I've heard, I'm not a doctor, but
Yeah.
I've heard that if you are diagnosed with cancer, the first thing you should do is stop eating for 7 days completely. Because your body, like when it starts to eat the bad stuff.
Right.
So would you recommend like a 72-hour fast once a month as far as natural HGH
Well,
goes?
I actually did a post on this recently. I'm glad you
You
brought
did?
this
Okay.
up. Yeah, because some people are like, what if I don't want to do that? Let me try to boost it on my own. Okay, so these are things you can do to help boost it on your own.
Okay, I like this. Let's.
Okay, so one, it's going to sound silly, but
Yeah.
you got to prioritize your sleep. 7 to 8 hours, consistent sleep every single day.
7 to 8, yep.
Why? Because that's when your body releases growth hormone. If you're sleeping interruptedly, only partial amount, you're never getting your own body's full release of it.
Yeah.
Maximize what you have.
Okay.
Sounds silly, it's just sleep. Well, I sleep. No, really
Right.
focus and prioritize
Yeah.
that so you're getting 7 to 8 consistently.
Absolutely.
A lot of people have crazy schedules nowadays, but that's one schedule you just got to fit in. Also, having a natural schedule, a circadian rhythm. So your body knows it's sleep time, your body knows it's rest time, and that's when the time when it's going to heal and repair itself, and that's when growth hormone levels are going to rise.
Gotcha.
So if you have your body into that normal circadian rhythm, the normal rhythm of life where it releases cortisol, it helps get you up in the morning, the growth hormone's released at night, so it has the normal cycle of hormone patterns.
Right.
If you have a disrupted pattern, how can you expect it to secrete appropriately?
Yeah.
Right? So it's super important. Having enough protein in your diet to sustain muscles and growth. Yeah, everyone's talking about protein. Yeah, it's
it's
important.
huge.
But you don't have to go overboard too. Certain activities, certain weight resistance exercises have also been shown to be beneficial. Stimulating your body to help repair itself and grow itself by resistance exercise, weight training exercises can also be beneficial.
Okay.
So when you fix up your diet, you're eating organic foods, you're avoiding toxins, you're sleeping better, you're doing resistant exercises, all things we want to do, but now you have another reason why it's so important.
Yeah.
So a lot of times if you fix these things and really address them one by one, you can see differences.
Yeah.
And that's just not because, I'm sleeping better. Well, sleeping better is also helping you recover better, you're helping your muscles recover, but it's
Absolutely.
also helping your growth hormone release naturally.
Okay.
So there's like things you can do that really aren't expensive that you can help
Yeah.
yourself. So this don't always, it's easy to have, I'll inject this, I'll take this, and that'll fix it. Well,
Start with the
That-
basics too.
yeah, but that's going to help. But obviously the other things are going to help
Yeah.
even more, right? So
That makes sense.
we don't, it's we're always a quick fix society, right? GLP-1s.
Oh, we are,
I want to
yeah.
lose weight.
I think I took one as a maintenance just because I was like, I'm overeating.
Just to suppress that. Well, but if you don't do it right, what's going to happen? You're going to lose muscle. Your skin's going to get loose. You're going to lose
No,
fat too quickly.
I'm now taking perfect aminos. I have protein shakes. I eat protein focused meals.
Right.
Now with the perfect aminos and this other shake I have to be careful of getting too much protein.
Yeah.
But that just started a week ago. So.
Right. So if you eat enough protein in your meals, you're probably getting all the aminos. There's 9 essential amino acids, and essential aminos
I'm not, 'cause I don't eat
has all
properly
9.
all the time.
It's for vegetarians that they have to make sure they mix certain things together to get all 9 essentials.
Okay.
If you're having any type of animal, fish, poultry, chicken, red meat, you're probably getting a balance of all the amino acids because all meats have the balance already.
But it's not going to hurt me to take it as well.
No, it's not that much.
Yeah.
It's very popular. I see it advertised everywhere
God, it
on
hooked me.
social media. It's
Gary
like,
Brecka. I'm like, oh, I want it.
yeah. He's all over the place.
Yeah. He totally is.
I wouldn't, I like some of the stuff he does, but
yeah.
he strays from facts a lot.
Okay, interesting. All
and
right,
science
so
a lot. So even though I hear stuff there, I'm like curious, but
Yeah.
for the layperson, it's very confusing because
yes.
he takes one fact and kind of builds a story around it, and it sounds very true. He was talking about the paradoxical rise and certain things like there's no such it was like a nonsense term, parabolic, and there isn't about increased rise and stuff, and there really wasn't. It was just like he uses these scientific terms, and it sounds very legitimate.
Yeah. Okay, so
that's why when every post I do, I'm posting the research, where I got it from, how I know it.
well, that's why you're so popular, Chase.
It's a lot of homework, but
It
really,
is.
I think about anything I want to say.
Yeah.
What do I have to back it up?
True. And
Right?
people
Don't
want to
believe
know
me.
the rest. Yeah.
Don't believe me. These are the facts I came to this conclusion with.
Yeah.
And then if you disagree with me, go ahead. Tell me something I didn't read, something I overlooked. I'm glad to hear it.
I like that.
Because the day you stop learning is you stopped growing.
Okay, so what is your
Especially
advice?
in medicine, like things are changing rapidly all the time.
Too fast.
So if you're not learning all the time, you're behind.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
aesthetics and wellness especially.
so what advice would you give to somebody who just wants to keep it simple but look and feel their best?
Well, I'd say start simple, right? Focus on making the best out of the simple things that don't cost you anything, right? Stop buying the processed foods, take a little extra time, buy whole, natural, organic foods, make food yourself.
Yeah.
I do that all myself now because I was tired of reading all these labels and like,
Yeah.
this has this has this. I was like, I know what I want.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know what I want to add in and what I don't want to add in.
Yeah.
And it's just better that way. And then you learn and create a solid recipe that way, and you're eating very healthy already.
So it starts with the diet.
Yeah, it does, And also, if you find you're eating whole, natural, organic foods,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to overeat those foods. You can,
Protein focus first. Yeah.
right? It's very filling and very satisfying, But that's how you start. Make sure you're living an active lifestyle. Most Americans sit about 11 hours a day,
Yeah.
which is not conducive
Crazy.
to a healthy lifestyle. The average person only walks between 4,000 and 5,000 steps a day. And people want to know why people were healthier 100 years ago. Studies 100 years ago approximated the average person walked 24,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
We're walking 4. They were 6 times more active.
Well, yeah,
They didn't have to go to the
have
gym.
a car.
Right. They were picking up, lifting, gardening,
Yeah.
shoveling, doing everything and walking everywhere.
Yeah.
So
True.
since we don't have that, it seems like the more technology you have, the more less activity we're getting, and you have to actually force yourself to have activity,
Yeah.
right? But in New York, it's great because you really could walk a lot of
That
places,
is what I love about
and
New York, yeah.
it doesn't take much effort. Just give yourself enough time.
Exactly. No, and it's except on days when it's like freezing.
Yeah,
Freezing
or
cold.
raining, or it's just miserable.
Yeah.
But also then you end up doing a lot of activity that way. Also prioritizing sleep. In a busy world, you're doing a lot of things. Your schedule gets kind of erratic, but having a regular sleep-wake cycle helps your body because your body knows it needs to go to sleep, and then it kind of naturally wakes up,
Okay.
and you feel more rested and rejuvenated, and you're waking up more clear-headed once you're sleeping better.
Yes.
And sleep is like a whole topic to itself of how to master it, but once you get in that cycle of it, you want to keep it that way.
But it's like I always feel like I get up once in the middle of the night to pee.
Right. I think a lot of people do. I also try to control how much I'm drinking before I go to sleep.
Yeah,
Even though
that's
to me it's
true.
almost second nature to drink liquids before I go to sleep.
Because you feel dehydrated.
Right. So it seems like I want to, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's probably going to wake you up. But also, if you wake up, go right back to sleep.
Yes, exactly. Don't
You start
look
doing-
at your phone or dilly
Once you start doing a little something, all of a sudden it's an hour later. You're like, oh my god.
Exactly.
Now
Okay.
I got to wake up soon.
So we have to wrap up. Look at the camera and tell everyone where they can find you, get more information, all that good stuff. You were amazing.
My name is Dr. Todd. New York City on Instagram is my main account. I do have accounts on TikTok and Facebook, but I'm not on there very much. So under Dr. Todd New York City, there'll be a link in my bio where you can just learn about more peptides. You can get a free 15-minute consultation, no obligation, no hard sales, just information. And if you want me to post about something, send me a DM. And that's where I get all my ideas for great posts is the audience. What do you want to learn about? What's the truth? What's fact? What's hype? Is it worth doing this aesthetic treatment? Is it worth this vitamin? Is this worth this peptide? And I'll break it down for you to give you all the information you need. That's so hard to find anyplace else. And I'm not giving you a sales pitch. I'm just giving you the information.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, it was a pleasure. I feel like we could talk for hours.
Oh my God, I know. Well, it's just such an overwhelming but very helpful topic. So thank you so much for.
Oh, my pleasure.
You solved my NAD crisis because I was like, which one do I buy?
No, I think that's
but
so
I have
confusing,
the powder.
You know, people buy the powder, but also, you know,
I'm doing the powder.
I'll get hate messages for this because I'm saying the NID drip is expensive, overpaid, and probably.
I'm not paying for it. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Sorry. Unless somebody wants to like promote the next Madison podcast, sure. Anyways, you guys, so thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who's listening wherever you are. We will see you next time to find out who's next. Hey, your host here, Madison Malloy. Please make sure to subscribe to the show on all podcast platforms and please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. I thank you again for listening. Bye.